Hello and welcome to this lecture. Today we are going to understand the difference between substance dependence and habituation. We will also discuss different type of dependence in this lecture. So, what is meant by habituation? It is defined as the frequent use of anything. The word habituation comes from the word habit. So it means that if a person is doing certain activity for regular time, it can be called as habituation. For example, heavy users of cocaine or morphine, if oftenly used, they are known as habituation. But I need to know that whether a glass of wine, if you drink every night, does it called as habituation? Or does we call it as a person is alcoholic? For many people, the glass of wine in every dinner is not belong to this category. So actually this category, when we talk about habituation, it is meant for some extreme conditions. Like for example, when we talk about alcohol, and when we talk about a person that is homeless and they don't have any place to live, and then he has a bottle of wine or the cheap wine and then using heroin, then we then call this condition as habituation of drinking wine. So you have to understand that a glass of regular wine uh, is not considered as habituation in certain circumstances. So this varies from scene to scene, from situation to situation. There is no hard fast rule for the quantity or frequency of use, and we cannot draw a clear line that what is habituation and what is not habituation, because it also depend upon culture. Different cultures have different, like in Europe, a drinking of wine with meal is common in common culture. But we can call habituation when a person is homeless or in extreme condition and then he's drinking alcohol. So if you see, when we talk about substance dependence and we talk about habituation, the next term is individual control and substance control. So actually the important thing is that when we talk about individual control, we're talking about you or me. I mean, if you're taking something, you're drinking wine or smoking occasionally, you have the control of that substance. So it is known as individual control. But it can be vice versa, that after certain period of time, a person is drinking more or a person is smoking more. So then it could be possible that the substance taken the control to you. And when a substance is taking the control to you, it is known as substance control. Now let's discuss three basic processes. Actually, these three basic processes comes under a person that is homeless, alcohol drinker, or frequent use of heroin. So we have to explain this concept under this category, which is tolerance, physical dependence, and psychological dependence. When we talk about tolerance, actually it is defined as or refer to the phenomena which is in which a repeated exposure of the same dose of the drug result in a lesser effect. So it means if a person, like for example, we're talking about a person that is homeless and taking cocaine or uh, heroin or any opiate, with the passage of time, he is increasing the dose of that drug. Why? Because you have to understand, when he is taking the drug, he is not getting the pleasure or interest. Actually, you need to understand one thing, that why a person is taking the drugs. What is the reason behind it? And my answer is very clear. It is because when he use these drugs, he feel relaxed. Maybe he stress up because of some family's issue, but after taking the drug, he feeling better. So you have to understand that he feel better. That's why he take drug. But when you take these abusive drugs like heroin or cocaine, with the passage of time, the person that is addicted to these drugs, he or she need to increase the dose because the pleasure is not getting as much as he is getting before few weeks before at same dose. So if mean, for example, if a person is using heroin 5 milligram and then he's using on day 1, but with the passage of time from day 1 to day 5, then day 5 to day 10, he is actually increasing the dose from 5 milligram to 10 milligram, then 10 milligram to 20 milligram. And this is why, because he is not getting as much interest or pleasure from that drug. And that is actually talking about the tolerance, because the drug is producing the lesser effect, and that lesser effect is known as tolerance. It is also explained in terms of another definition like failure of responsiveness to the usual dose of the drug is also known as tolerance. Then next we're talking about the physical dependence. And when we talk about physical dependence, you need to understand the definition. It is defined and explained by the occurrence of the withdrawal syndrome. So the main important thing is the occurrence of that withdrawal symptoms. And what is withdrawal symptoms? In simple definition, it is defined as a group of symptoms that occur upon abrupt discontinuation or decrease in intake of medicinal or recreational drug. In the slide, it is also mentioned that the symptoms occurring in discontinuation are dosage reduction of some type of medication and recreational drug. So you have to understand that if for a person is taking certain drug and then after certain period of time he is not taking that drug, so the physical changes that appear to that person, like a person feeling in alcohol withdrawal symptom, mild to moderate psychological symptoms such as nervousness, anxiety, irritability, emotional changes, feeling of shakiness, fatigue, and depression. And they are because of the withdrawal symptoms that occur by using the alcohol. Another example I can explain to you at the level of heroin, that if a person is using regular heroin and suddenly one day he don't take heroin, he stop taking heroin, then what will happen? So the person will experience like chills, fever, diarrhea, and other symptoms. So that symptom that is appeared, why? Because he stopped taking those drugs, is actually known as withdrawal symptoms. And this withdrawal symptoms is actually the sign of physical dependence that a person is having on that. Why this occur? The answer is very simple, because it disrupt the normal physiological process. So you have to understand this is actually known as physical dependence. And when we talk about disruption of normal physiological process, and if a person is taking drug, obviously he is getting pleasure or excited from that drug or increase in some sexual activity. But with the passage of time, then when he is slowly stopping the drug and he is not taking it, so the body is getting used to that drug. And when you stop giving them the drug, he faces withdrawal symptoms. When we talk about psychological dependence, The psychological dependence can be explained in terms of the frequency of the use. It could be the amount of time or effort an individual spend on drug seeking behavior. It could be explained in terms of craving of the drug or reinforcement caused by the effect of the drug. So the psychological dependence is more linked to the frequency, that when we talk about frequency, that how much time they taking that drug in 1 week or in 1 day and at how many times. Then it also depends upon the amount of drug, where the quantity of the drug is matter. And I already mentioned that with the passage of time, if a person is tolerant and he need to take more drugs, with it increase with the time. Then when we talk about the craving, we are going to discuss that a person feel that he needs more and more drug with time. It's just like internal, you can say that intense feelings to take something. It is the craving can be explained in terms of the feelings that a person having. Then the last point, we are talking about the reinforcement. This is very, very important. The reinforcement is very, very important. Why reinforcement is important? Because it's explained in psychology, and it is defined as, it is known as a behavior act that resulting in increased tendency to repeat that behavior act. For example, a very simple example is when you give a ball or food to the dog, or for example when you give ball to the dog, you ask them to give it back to us. So this is the reward. Or for example, you give the reward to person. If somebody is getting good marks, you give them incentive. So this is known as positive reinforcement. That reinforcement could be negative as well if we explain in terms of punishment. So you have to understand that the behavior can be classified as positive reinforcement, or it could be classified as negative reinforcement. We will discuss this behavior later on in the next lecture. I'm not going to discuss in detail, but you have to understand that the psychological dependence could depend upon the frequency, could depend upon the time, amount of time, or effort in individual spending drug seeking behavior, or craving, or it could be explained in terms of reinforcement. Okay, next question is that whether the substance dependence is caused by a substance, it is either a biological or addictive personality or a family disorder or dependence. What is it? So let's discuss one by one. When we talk about the dependence is caused by substance, you need to understand this table 2.3, where we're talking about nicotine, cocaine, and marijuana use. And you can see comparing some of the substances like alcohol, nicotine, cocaine, and marijuana. And when we compare these all three, we found that with alcohol after use, first year use, and then when we compare with 10-year use, there is an increase of the use from 2% to 11%, and the lifetime estimate is 22.7%. So you can see with the passage of time, it increases. Then I can say you another example of nicotine, which is present in the cigarettes. It also increased from 2% to 15.6%, and then 67%. So you can see there is a difference between the usage in between alcohol and nicotine. So when you compare them, that when a person start taking alcohol, after first year the percentage is 20%, but 10 years it increased to 11%. Whereas nicotine also the percentage increased from 2% to 15.6%. But when we compare the uses between this alcohol and nicotine, after 10 years we found that people are more get dependent on nicotine rather than alcohol. So there is a difference. Same like when you compare with the use of alcohol with cocaine. So the use of alcohol, the percentage is less as compared with the nicotine and cocaine. So what is it? So why this difference? Because alcohol, nicotine, or cocaine, they are actually a chemical. They are drugs. So the nature of drug is different. So their addictive properties or their dependence on them will be different. So if a person is drinking alcohol, he or she may not get as much as depend on alcohol rather than when we compare with nicotine or cocaine. So you have to understand whether if we compare with these four items, they are going to show you an increasing tendencies to take the drug after 1 year and then after 10 years. But you also need to compare these four items one by one, and their dependence or their addictive properties is different. Next is dependence is biological? That's very important question, because we need to understand that what is actually dependence is all about. And the answer is very simple. Yes, it could be explained in terms of its biological activity, like the dopamine. I already discussed in the beginning that why are people taking drug? Why a person is addicted to heroin or morphine? The answer is that because he is getting the pleasure or interest or sexual activity has been increased by taking the drug. But what happened that with the passage time it become addicted to that. But what is the thing inside the drug? The drug is a chemical, and that drug actually contains dopamine. And that dopamine level is actually responsible for its activity, and it is actually responsible for positive reinforcement. Same like I discussed, if you give a ball or food or to the dog, he come back to you because he liked that. So the positive reinforcement, like if you give the reward, uh, maybe the student get good marks. It is also known as positive reinforcement. So why this happen again and again? Because of the chemical, which is dopamine. And in term of medical terms, I'm not going to discuss the medical because you are not a medical student, but it is actually dopamine is a neurotransmitter. And that is present naturally inside the body, and that is also responsible for the behaviors that somebody have. Then the second thing that is very important, that why we call dependence is biological, because for example, and we need to understand that how we taking the drug is very important, how we use them. For example, if you take the drug orally, the effect will be different. Or if you take the drug intravenous, IV stand for intravenous, through your vein or injections, the effect will be different, because when you take the drug orally, the drug has to be go inside to the stomach, and then it have to be absorbed into the intestine. So you have to understand that the absorption of the drug have to go through a number of series of steps. I'm not going to explain the medical because most of the students in my class are not from medical, but you have to understand that if a person is taking drug orally, it have to be passed through the body organs to reach to you. Whereas when you take a drug intravenous or injection, it going directly to your blood, and when it go directly to your blood, and effect will be different. So you have to understand that how we administer the drug, it also very important. Then in the slide, when we talk about the genetic influences, yes, we have to understand that numerous studies on animals and human have shown that there is a genetic influence on drug use, effect, and dependence. And one study examined over 2,000 twins with a history of substance dependence. And when they are looking for comorbidity, they found that the genetic has come to its action. It has the role to produce effect. It is estimated that alcohol and nicotine, about half of the dependence is due to the heredity, and half of the effect is due to the substance, the chemical that is producing that effect. So it is 50-50, but there is still, we don't know that which specific genes is involved, and we also don't know the biological mechanism by which the genes influence these behaviors. So there is a lot of research that needs to be done in the future. Okay, when we talk about addictive personalities, we're talking about the personality factors such as attention deficit hyperactivity disorders, the conduct disorders, and antisocial behavior. If a person having these personalities, then it may more likely to consume the substance. Okay, next is dependence of family disorder. The answer is yes. Yes, it could be occur in the dysfunctional family. What is meant by dysfunctional family? If in any family, one parent or both parents are alcoholic, so in a dysfunctional family, it can affect on the children's, and we term this dysfunctional family, and especially the child of that dysfunctional family is known as adult children of alcoholic. Or another term we known as adult children. In a dysfunctional family where the parents are alcoholic, their children have to play a bigger role to handle their parents, and sometimes these children, uh, sometimes they can become involved in taking alcohol, or they become involved in some dysfunctional relationships, and that dysfunctional relationship leads to an increased use of alcohol. So they but you have to understand that this is a tendency. You cannot find these tendencies in all population. It is, although in statistically we found that in dysfunctional families there is an increased tendency of taking alcohol, but uh, it is not necessary that every house or every dysfunctional family the offsprings will be alcoholic. So it is not necessary to have. Is substance dependence is a disease? According to a disease model, this you have to understand that the disease model state that if a person is taking something, cause mean a drug or any abusive substance, it would produce a defect on the organ level, and the symptoms must be there. So when any drug or any substance affect on the organ, then they produce a symptom, then we called any agent or anything under the disease model. But in this case, when we talk about this model, there is a controversial statement. Some scientists believe that if we consider that alcohol is under the disease, excessive use of alcohol is called as disease. Whether we call gambling also a disease. So when the scientists talking about the behaviors, and when we talk about excessive use of alcohol or excessive gambling, and the scientists don't consider them as a disease. So this is a controversial thing, that whether the excessive use of alcohol is called as dependence or excessive gambling, because they all consider under the behavior, excessive behavior, or we can say that a compulsive behavior. Like for example, if a person is switch on the light again and again without any reason, so whether we call it as a disease, so we cannot explain this concept in under the disease model. So that's why the scientists found that uh, actually it is more likely a biopsychosocial perspective. Means that the behavior, if a person has dependence, not only alcohol but gambling or behavior addictions, it could be explained in terms of the broad sense, which is known as biopsychosocial, which means it could be related to the biology, the personality, the social interaction, the personality factors, and then the family history, and then combination of all these factors. So you can explain these all behavior, addiction or dependence or compulsive behaviors in biopsychosocial perspective. So thank you so much for today's lecture. Hope to see you again.